Okay, g'day again. Alright, as you can see, we've got it back together. I did have an issue with the exhaust. The exhaust was actually hitting on the cage, and yeah, see the blocks of wood and whatever. Should I show you this? This is a use I found for an old rim. Not sure what these rims are off, but yeah, I welded a bit of 8mm plate onto the top, and I tapped a couple of holes in it, drilled them in my jack stand, and yeah, just gives you a bit of extra lift. As I said, I got the bolt holes there. I can actually bolt them on so that they're secure. Yeah, just another use for an old rim. Anyway, back to the bug. Yeah, you can see, hopefully you can see, it's not center, the exhaust is not center in the cage anymore. So obviously I've altered something in the position of the engine gearbox, or actually I might have bent it, because I did winch it into the shed after the major oil leak. I didn't want to start it again, so I winched it back into the shed, and the only thing I could hook it to was the exhaust. There's nothing underneath to hook it to, which was probably not a good thing to do, because I may have actually bent it with a winch. But anyway, I've pulled it down enough now so it's not hitting, because that was a bit annoying. Yeah, gearbox is working alright. Wine's a little bit in reverse, not something I'm concerned about. The only sort of issue is second gear. As I pointed out in my previous video, it has an adjustment on the selector, and it appears I haven't got that 100% right. And yeah, because if you hold your hand on the gear stick when you're pushing, you'll go into second. If you keep pushing, you can actually feel the gears grind a bit. So yeah, the selector's out of adjustment, but it's not enough to, I don't know, at least I don't think it's enough to cause a problem. Yeah, it doesn't push far enough, for the gears, like whatever the gear's binding on. If it did actually engage in that gear, it'd blow up the gearbox, but I don't think it's going to push far enough to do that. And yeah, might change the gearbox oil every 6 months or so, because yeah, making a little bit of shavings until it wears it down a little bit. But yeah, not that much of an issue. One thing I wanted to speak about, I have plenty of room now in the spring plate rests to take it up another, because to turn it on the spline and bring it up another 2 or 3 inches. Yeah, I don't think the weight of the body, the engine, the cage, everything has brought it down quite considerably from what I thought I was going to have. But yeah, it's okay. And this time, whilst I had it in there, I was going to turn it another notch on the spring plates, turn them on the spline, and lift it up a bit. But I was looking at the front, and you probably can't notice now because of the way it's sitting, but the more you jack the front up, the lower this bar gets at the front. Yeah, because it's in front of the suspension. Yeah. So yeah, before lifting the back anymore, I need to lift the front as well. And whilst that's easy enough to do, it's just a matter of pulling the arms off the splines, changing them a notch on the spline. I think by doing that, you then start getting a problem with the steering. given that the I wish I could show you, but I can't without pulling it apart. But yeah, because the whole steering arms and everything fit across the hump in the floor, they're actually up quite high. Now, if you start lowering it, what you're going to get is the toe-in on the steering alignment changing as it goes up and down. And I'm quite certain that would happen if I was to lower it. So this is what I'm going to look at doing. This won't be for a while, probably quite a few months actually, because I've got other things I have to do. The year, or other expenses, that's the issue. But what I'm thinking now, and because the steering box isn't much chop either, so I'm thinking of changing the whole unit to rack and pinion. You could either run it possibly under the floor, which might then be too low, and it also get caught on things and broken eventually anyway. So I'm not keen on that idea, but you could run it, providing you're under the cables and everything that run through the hump. You could cut a hole through the hump on either side and weld a piece of pipe in there to re-strengthen it, and run the rack and pinion through that on the floor. If you're familiar with Volkswagens, you'll sort of know what I'm talking about. It's a bit hard to describe it without showing you, and I can't do that without pulling all the fuel tank and everything out, so I'm not going to do that. So yeah, and I've already got half a Mazda steering column. So mentioned before in previous videos, I machined down this off a Mazda 121, the Mazda Bubble, and the shaft is solid on this, whereas you got a hollow tube on the original Volkswagen bit, and it was only about a mil off fitting inside, with the Mazda shaft fitting inside the Volkswagen one. So yeah, I had it machined down a little bit, about 6 inches of it fitted inside it, plug welded it and whatever. It's no way it's going to break. I also tested the shafts before I weld them, make sure they're not hardened steel or anything. And you do that with a hacksaw. If a hacksaw will mark it, it's just regular mild steel. So I've already done that. But getting to the point, the actual steering column off the Mazda 121 only just goes a short way, and then it has a universal joint, and it bends quite an angle to go down to the rack and pinion. So I'm thinking that the full steering column off the Mazda 121 will be quite suitable for doing that, and the rack and pinion itself, given it's a similar size car, is probably going to would go close to being the right length, you know, and the tie rod ends from this might either screw onto the Mazda rack, or you know, or the Mazda tie rod ends might fit into the arms on the Volkswagen. So that's yet to be seen, but yeah, that's what I'm planning for it. And the other thing too, the Volkswagens don't have a very good steering lock. You know, just from manoeuvring it around here and in and out of the shed, it's quite difficult. I'm doing 3-point turns and everything, because it doesn't really turn very much. Yeah, so I could improve on that by, that's another thing I could improve on, I mean, is the steering lock, give myself more manoeuvrability. So anyway, this is yeah, probably the last update video I'll make on the bug for quite a while now. Yeah. The other thing too is when I get these get the other mud tyres on the front. I've got 2 mud tyres on the back. At the front are just a standard 14-inch, which are actually an inch too low, which is putting me speedo out and everything. So But yeah, and I get the mud tyres on here, that'll lift it a little bit anyway. So yeah, it'll also help with doing wheel alignments and things. Both tyres are the same width and size. Yeah. Actually, I might do another video later. Might depend on how much success I have. I've got an issue with the camber on the back wheels. I still don't know whether it's negative or positive, but yeah, they're towing in at the top. So that, yeah, the camber's sort of way off, and it's affecting, you know, straight line steering. It wants to wander and stuff. So well, I'm going to try adjusting that out. If I can't do that, I may even cut the arms and re-angle them or something. I did mount the the brackets to hold the arms, the trailing arms, or what's known as a Z arm, exactly where they came off the other frame. But, yeah, so I don't know what the go is with the camber problem. Yeah, anyway, if I have a bit of success with that, I might make a video on how to change it and what corrected it. So, yeah. Alright, thanks again for watching. Hit the like, please. Okay, bye.